This is the Tigers POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Detroit Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome into a live Locked On Tigers POSTCAST. How about a little sweep for the Detroit Tigers, playing some great baseball and a nice little exclamation point at Comerica Park this afternoon. 7-2 the final. Here to break it all down on your home for the Locked On Tigers POSTCAST, your post-game destination, free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, on YouTube, it's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team each and every day. Fire up that comment section. It's a collaborative program right here on the Locked On Tigers POSTCAST. We'll discuss the nice little ambush to begin this game, aided by Framber Valdez. He could not find the strike zone early, and the Tigers made him pay. That first inning, 6 runs, and when you go up 6-0, you're going to win a lot of ball games. Write that one down. Charlie Morton was wonderful once again. He looked good on the mound, especially late. A strong finish to his outing. And of course, we'll have our biggest talking point, our turning point, and so much more. It's all next, live. Locked On Tigers POSTCAST. We begin where we always begin. Our biggest talking point, if you were to tell a friend about this game, maybe even about this series, you would speak on the Tigers' dominance. That's 9 wins in their last 11 games, a series sweep over the Houston Astros, 3 of 4 against Minnesota, and all of a sudden, all is well once again, because now you're talking about a huge lead in the division over not Cleveland, but the Kansas City Royals, who have taken the first 2 games of their series against the Texas Rangers. One more tonight. It's a 4-game series in total. So Tigers dominate the Houston Astros, and when this game was won, in fact, it was in the first inning. That's our biggest talking point right here on a live Locked On Tigers POSTCAST.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Hey, that's why you do it live. Press the wrong button. Self-producing does not matter. All right, biggest talking point on today's program, once again, that 6-run inning for the Detroit Tigers in the home half of the first. Framber Valdez really just a shell of himself, and that's a quality pitcher. Maybe not the Astros ace. I think Hunter Brown you would certainly categorize as the Astros ace, but he was 11-6 coming into today, and just uncharacteristically was totally off and totally out of it. And the Tigers deserve some credit for making him pay and taking advantage of it and drawing some walks. I mean, the Riley Green walk in the home half of the first was truly a sign of growth. I mean, there were some close pitches there, and I don't remember the exact figure. Benetti touched on it, where Riley Green has walked a significant amount more in recent days than he had when he was struggling so much. So Jahmai Jones walks, Gleyber Torres walks. You got Andy Ibanez, who's in there, of course, to hit left-handers, singles. That scores Jones and Gleyber Torres to make it, or Torres up to second, made it 1-0. And then Torkelson certainly didn't hit the cover off that ball, but the placement was perfect, and it into the crowd for a doubleheader, a ground rule double, and the Tigers are rolling at that point. And then the wildness, I mean, wild pitch after wild pitch, back-to-back wild pitches that score a couple of runs for the Tigers. And at this point, it's got to feel like an avalanche for Framber Valdez and the Astros, because you got traction on the bases, you've got the crowd into it, you haven't even recorded an out. I believe it was 29 pitches before Framber Valdez recorded his first out. And then the Dylan Dingler, I mean, he crushed that ball into left center for that triple, and nearly passed Riley Green on the bases. Riley Green staying at second to try to tag up if needed, but instead it's an RBI triple. And I know the injury that occurred in that one for the Astros player, the center fielder, Trammell, that went up against the wall and had to leave the game. Taylor Trammell, and of course, he was the one yesterday that had that crazy catch on the down the left field line where he was down for a while. So he's probably ready to get out of Detroit. That's for sure. But point being, hey, this game certainly turned, and that's the biggest talking point when you talk about a 6-run first inning for the Detroit Tigers to take a stranglehold of this game, and then Uncle Charlie does the rest. Charlie Morton, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. He struck out 8, walked 3, and Andy Ibanez had a really, really tough air. Now, you can never assume the double play, but obviously it got a little bit dicey in that 5th inning, thinking that, okay, maybe the Astros can make a game of this. They got the 2-run homer in the 4th, but a nice job of by Charlie Morton coming back to get 2 strikeouts to get out of that inning. So really, when Charlie Morton had to be really, really good tonight, he was, or today, this afternoon, I should say. And from an offensive standpoint, I don't think the at-bats were necessarily awesome after that first inning. But like I said, when you plate 6 runs in the first inning, I'm not saying take your foot off the gas by any means, but collectively this team seized control and never let up to the tune of completing the sweep and winning 7-2. Let's go ahead and get into some comments. It's Coven. He's up first. Uncle Charlie had the juice today. Great way to bounce back after an almost shutout yesterday. That's also a good point. I didn't even think of that, where even with the win yesterday, obviously shut out through 9 innings and only getting the run in the 10th inning, the bottom of the 10th inning, with a runner starting on second base. So really good point there. Yeah, it's good to see them come out right away. And this Tigers team, we've talked about it at length, are so dangerous when they ambush the opposition and score early and often. Joel Jackson, what a series. That greatly increases the chances we get a first round bye in the playoffs. I agree. And that was discussed at length on the broadcast this afternoon. Certainly worth noting. And I think we're at that point now with the 9.5 game lead in the division and however many days left in the season. I guess August 20th, certainly not a ton of games left where it would be just and I'm not don't do the, oh, you're speaking it into existence. Nobody believes in that. Nobody believes in jinxes. At least I don't. I have zero power or ability to impact games. So I will sit here and say that if the Tigers do not win the American League Central, it would be a monumental collapse and a choking of epic proportions. We can all agree with that. But that being said, yes, now you're kind of vying with Toronto and Houston and those teams atop the American League for that first round bye with the format of the MLB playoff expansion. All right. Joel Jackson says we are getting hot at the right time. Jason Walter says, thanks, offense and Uncle Charlie. Indeed. Demetrius McNeil is up next, 18-2 in this series. Bring on the pesky Kansas City Royals. That's right. That's where the Tigers will go next. And this has been discussed at length, but I'll go ahead and bring it up again. The Tigers have an off day throughout the next 5 weeks. I want to say maybe it's 6. Don't quote me on that, but off day tomorrow. And then it just seems like the schedule times up pretty nicely where you're getting an off day consistently week in and week out. All right. Braylon Dennis says we exposed and swept those frauds. There you go. Those Astros. Yeah, I'm still not over the Astros cheating scandal and cheating their way to a World Series. So anytime you're able to dominate and beat them the way the Tigers did, and you see Jose Altuve hanging his head, I think that's good for the soul. It's good for baseball. That's for sure. Jake Goodwin is up next. And he said, I really thought that first inning we were going to go through all 9 batters without getting an out. It did feel that way. I mean, they even got a double play to end that first inning. That's how dominant this first inning was for the Detroit Tigers. So more comments, and I'm going to try and get into all of them here. The dude says, thanks for stopping by, Houston. Let us dust our broom off. 3 games in a row where starting pitchers go 7 innings. I must be dreaming. Yeah, not to correct you, Charlie went 6 today, but your point is well taken. The pitching was excellent. Obviously, giving up 2 runs in 3 games, excellent. Doesn't even begin to describe it. The bullpen's been really good. And oh yeah, you got to love the offensive support, aside from last night, but in general that this team has been providing. All right. Jim and Denise says Jones playing well. I agree. He's good to have. R1VJ4. Oh, Jake. I got to laugh real hard at Rogers. He's been an automatic out. I'd rather see a pitcher DH for him. Again, nothing wrong with his defense. Yeah. And it was kind of a different setup with Dylan Dingler in there at the designated hitter. And obviously, Dylan Dingler loved that role. He excelled as the designated hitter. With Dingler, I mentioned the RBI triple, but 2 hits today, 2 runs scored, an RBI, just an overall. Overall great day at the ballpark for Dylan Dingler. But let's go ahead and take a quick break. We're going to get to our turning point and our player of the game and take the rest of some of these comments. Appreciate everybody stopping in. My biggest turning point is up next. Don't go anywhere. It's alive. Locked On Tigers postcast. Hey, this episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is brought to you by Game Time. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's game day and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Game Time comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Game Time makes it all possible. Game Time makes buying tickets fast and simple. The prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch, and they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying tickets. Still some time to see the Tigers at Comerica Park. That would be my number one recommendation. But hey, if you're looking to go to a concert, that works as well. Game Time's your hookup there. And make sure you check out Game Time's zone deals. They pick the best seats in your section, catered specifically for you. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Create that account, redeem the code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Tigers all over the Astros. They sweep the series, 9 wins in their last 11 games. You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. 6 out of their last 7. This team is finding themselves. Great stuff there. All right, it is time for our biggest turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Turning point in this one was when the home team came to bat in the first inning. I mean, 6 runs, Framber Valdez struggling to find the zone. I mean, how many different ways do you say it? When you put up 6 runs in the home half and you get a quality start, good things are going to happen typically. So I just think that, and this is not unique to the Tigers, and I'm not gonna what I'm about to say certainly isn't groundbreaking. So if you want to make fun of me, please feel free. But I think when you outscore a team 6-0 in the first inning and then show that your starting pitcher has it that day, there's not a lot that can go wrong. And the Tigers certainly proved that today. And it was 1 through 9, literally. I mean, everybody up and down that order contributing and making the most out of a pitcher giving you an opportunity by struggling with command early. And it wasn't one of those rallies where, you get a lot of traffic on the bases, you get a sac fly, and then maybe you leave a lot of people. No, it was pass the baton on to the next. And this offense collectively just made Framber Valdez's life miserable at Comerica Park this afternoon. Tigers have been doing that a lot. I mean, you look at their home record and wow, 42-24 at home, nearly 20 games over the 500 mark. Awesome stuff there. How about our player of the game?
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
This one's tough to choose because it wasn't necessarily a standout performance by anybody. Everybody was just kind of solid today. I mean, you go up and down that lineup. Not everybody had a hit, but that started besides Gleyber Torres and Riley Green and Wenzel Perez. But and Jake Rogers too, which kind of goes without saying. So I guess it wasn't as dominant as I thought. No home runs today. Just a team ambushing an opposing pitcher. And then on the other side, like I mentioned, Charlie Morton, 6 innings, 3 hits, and just the 2 earned runs. He struck out 8. So I'm going to go with Charlie Morton on this one. He continues to provide the value as a starting pitcher that's really, I want to say, hanging on to his career. That certainly has negative connotation, but he's just stuck around. And I think Jason Benetti and Dan Petrie said it best today when they just talked about how he values relationships, and they had the report with Daniela Bruce and just spoke on that connection with AJ Hinch. And since coming to Detroit at the trade deadline, he's been a valuable addition. Now, has he gotten rocked a couple times? Sure. But the veteran presence, the reliable arm, everything else, that's certainly a value add. And again, I wasn't the most high on the Charlie Morton acquisition at the trade deadline. And, I still don't think it's this amazing get from Scott Harris. If it was, and maybe you could say Kyle Finnegan and Charlie Morton and Montero for that matter, they're all just going to be solid additions. That would be best case scenario. Obviously, I don't think any of them take this team to new heights by any means, but you'll take what you can get. And I think Charlie Morton, every time out there, has done a great job in giving this Tigers team a chance to win. All right. Tim Palmer has the breakdown that I was looking for. I appreciate this, Tim. 33 games left in the regular season, no more than 6 days in a row. Let's go. And Hinch and Fetter, we trust. There you go. I think that's an appropriate way to end it, because just as we're talking about off days, we've got an off day tomorrow. Tigers are off tomorrow. Before, I believe, I want to make sure it is the Royals that come to town. Yes, the Kansas City Royals come to town for the weekend, and then the Tigers hit that West Coast road trip where they go to Sacramento to take on the Athletics, and then continue the road trip into Kansas City for those same Royals before the Mets come to town to begin the month of September. So lots of exciting times ahead for the Detroit Tigers. Off day tomorrow, which is my friendly reminder. You can catch me over on Locked On Lions. Thursday is our live squad day show, or squad show day. That's probably a better way to put it. Myself, Bradford Banta, and Natalie Kerwin will be live on the Locked On Lions page if you want to check that out. You should always check out Locked On Tigers with Scott Bentley. Locked On Lions with Matt Derry, the Daily Show. Get you ready for this crossover season that we're about to be in, where you've got Tiger postseason, meaningful baseball. You've got Detroit Lions football. It's a great time in the Motor City. So thanks so much for tuning in, and tuning in all series. 3 fun shows. There's no doubt about that. Off day tomorrow before the Tigers welcome in the Kansas City Royals for a weekend series at Comerica Park. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. Enjoy your off day tomorrow. Make sure you like today's video. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you next time on a live Locked On Tigers postcast.